idea of what the 2025 data is going to look like. It's going to be very difficult for any home that goes under contract next week to close in 2025. I think that would be safe to say. Do you not, Keith?
Yeah, we've already closed our books out.
Yeah.
For the year.
His brokerage has closed their books out for the year.
That's a big word. We know what our year is going to look like already.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Look at that. I can hear you now.
There we go. So we have numbers. We're live on YouTube, J-Dubs. We're live on my personal Facebook page, J-Dubs. Our YouTube page is absolutely on fire lately. I'd like to hit 1 million views on the YouTube page by the end of the calendar year.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Across all platforms, there is no brand in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, or Central Virginia that reaches more people other than the University of Virginia. UVA is number 1. The I Love CVille brand is number 2. And the gap between number 2 and number 3 is huge. 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 Yeah. And ours, unlike the people in seats 3, 4, and 5, Legacy Media continues to grow every single day. Who would have thought that? Well, we certainly did. Viewers and listeners, like and share the show. Comments are continuing to come on the program. I see folks from Ness watching the program. I see folks from Real Estate 3 watching the program. Logan Foster is on the feed. The Real Brokerage, ladies and gentlemen, is on the feed. Developer Cully Baggett on the feed. Stephanie Wells Rhodes of the Interstate Service Company family is on the feed. Happy birthday, Stephanie. Real estate investors watching the program as we speak. Like the show, share the show. Friday edition of A Lot of Fun, where we are always upbeat, we are always outgoing, we are always charismatic, we are always conversational, we are always confident.
And always caffeinated.
I'm always caffeinated. I don't even need the coffee, frankly.
No, you don't.
Judah Wickhauer, my friend, things are looking great. People are eager for us to start. We're locked and loaded on Real Talk with Facebook page. You're a good man. Locked and loaded on Keith's Facebook page, Judah.
Seeing something we haven't seen in a long time. And we'll go live, we'll talk about that. But 104 pending this week versus 61 listing. I have not seen that flip since the end of 19.
It's a nuanced
We are back to the 19 rhythm, 2019 rhythm.
We're going to talk about that on the show. Judah Wickhauer, let's rock and roll. Goodness, we got a lot of people watching here. Cheers. Salute.
I'm gonna miss you, man.
Miss you too, man.
I'm not even gone yet, and I'm gonna miss you.
Miss you as well.
Not enough not to leave, though.
You have fun. Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us on Real Talk with Keith Smith. An absolute pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille network on a show that is presented by Yes Realty Partners. Find them online at yesrealtypartners.com, a team you can trust. The owners of the brokerage, Keith and Yona Smith, have been working in real estate since 1988, ladies and gentlemen. 87, excuse me, 1987. 38 years in business, soon to be 39 for Keith and Yona Smith. I've seen firsthand this team move mountains. Judah Wickhauer, if you can see Manuel out in the hallway and put us on a 2-shot, grab those 2 pieces of bathroom tile and put them on the floor for me or in our office so I can check the tile that he has once this show is done.
That would be great. We are doing a show live and contracting
literally running multiple businesses and multiple projects while hosting a talk show right now.
And Smith's just trying to think.
On Real Talk with Keith Smith. It's a talent. All right. A lot we're going to cover on the program. The show is archived on realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. We encourage you, the viewer and listener, to visit Real Talk with Keith Smith, where you will see, ladies and gentlemen, the who's who of trusted partners in this game we call real estate. People that Keith Smith has personally vetted. He trusts. He does business with his clients as well. Keith, questions are coming in fast and furious already. First, I start with good Friday morning to you.
Good Friday morning to you. I'm trying to send something to our dear friend Judah, which I forgot to do this morning. So there you go. Yeah, doing great. I was just, we were rolling the show. I didn't get a chance to take a look at the week over week, but we are at almost, not quite double of the sales. We've got 104 pending versus 61 under new contract, and we haven't seen that since 2019. So we are back to the 2019 rhythm. I think that's what you're going to see going on in 26 and on.
For the viewers and listeners, put what happened in 2019 in perspective. He thinks 2026, next year, Keith Smith.
I think 2025 is going to look rhythm-wise. So rhythm is important. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, this is where homes come on, sales go down. There's rhythm thing. And I'm going to try to email a graphic to Judah here once I can find it.
And you think 2026 is going to be much like 2025?
100%, yeah.
Well, that's a pretty slow real estate market.
I don't think slow is the right answer, right thing. It's normal, right? It's back to the normal rhythm. You know, when we compare it to the unicorn years, and Judah, I shot you an email with a image if you don't mind posting it when you get a chance. I went back and looked at 16, 17, 18, and 19, and what the rhythm was as homes came on and sold and all this kind of great stuff. We're back to that rhythm, back to that swing, where in the unicorn years, it just was flatlined at the top. It never slowed down. So, it's great to see a lot of pendings. That's kind of matching what it used to be. You know, a lot of homes went pending. Now, to your point, as your lead in, you're going to watch that pending start dropping, right? Because folks are going to kind of take off for the holidays and then start rolling back up in January. But when Judah posts that rhythm, that arc of the rhythm of the market, that's what you're going to see going forward.
Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Put them in the feed. We will relay them live on air. We'll celebrate and champion some of the fantastic viewers and listeners that are watching our fine and fair talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Thorpe, Spencer Pushard, thank you for watching the program. Redfield's finest, Bobby Yarborough, Aaron Moody, Matt Neese, Cully Baggett, Tom Powell, thank you for watching the program. Ty Cooper, G. Milo, Carrie Griggs, welcome to the program. Got to get you back on the show. If you have a question, Corbin Snow, put it in the feed. I will relay it live on air on the water cooler of continent conversation for the real estate market in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Real Talk with Keith Smith. Maurice Barros. Mo Barros, what up, my dog?
So the reason I know we're going to be anytime. Thank you, Jude. I appreciate it.
It's on the feed.
Look at you.
It's on the feed.
It's on the feed. So the reason I know what you're looking at is going to work is just the conversation you're having with the photographers and the folks that get homes prepped. You know, you're going to see a surge somewhere in January just to get on people's calendars right now to shoot listings. So you're going to see a little bit of a surge for listings in January. But that rhythm you're looking at, that's what you're going to see for 26. When we do the numbers for 25, it's going to almost mirror that wave of business. So, now's to be honest with you, if you're in the buyer's thing, this is a great time to buy. Don't expect it to close before Christmas at this point. That's probably not going to happen unless it's a cash deal and it's a simple turnaround. But you're already hearing folks like Tucker Griffin and Barnes and some of these other closers stacking stuff up and saying, hey, if you want to close something, it's going to have to be after the first of the year.
Stephanie Wells Rhodes watching the program. Keith, how are the numbers different from this time last year versus this year? I know Robbie is running like crazy over here at American Pest.
Yeah, so that's this whole huge pending number going up, right? Because if they're in pending, people need, and we're at 104 units pending right now, and all of them need to have pest, right? Have to have inspections and stuff like that. I haven't crunched the numbers exactly because it's not quite the end of the year yet on it, but we'll have that in the beginning of the year. But, I can tell you in our little shop, our tempo right now is as high as it's ever been. Right now, we're rocking and rolling. So I think everybody.
Is that for the whole team or is that for Keith and Jonas Smith?
Oh,
because you got your partners watching the program here.
Yeah, no, we're company-wide, about 25, a little over 25% up over where we were at this time.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Well,
your marketing and advertising is clearly working.
It is, and that's on the revenue and income side, right? 2 years ago, we saw this coming and streamlined all our expenses, right? So we're in a good spot. we're in a spot where we can focus on the market instead of focus on. Some people are going to start looking at reducing expenses.
Which brokerages are in tough spots?
I don't know anybody.
Which, without naming names, are in challenging spots? Rob Neal, welcome to the broadcast.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that.
DJ Morbely, welcome to the broadcast.
I hope everybody is doing well. I only wish everybody the best. Nice job, Mr. Miller. Almost got me. Almost got me.
Well, I mean, I could answer that question if you wanted me to.
Yeah, no. They're doing what they're doing. I'm just saying what we did 2 years ago was took a look at because we kind of know how this world works. Started looking at our expenses and streamlined everything. When things were hot, we started streamlining things down, knowing that eventually this pendulum was going to swing the other way. But at the moment, we just focus on taking care of one client at a time.
We'll highlight partners that make this program possible. Fincham and Associates, Woody Fincham and Associates, the best in the game. Home appraisers. If you need a home appraiser, it's Woody Fincham and Associates. Keith Smith.
Yep, he gets it done. He's another indicator of the market, right? We are starting to do a lot of hiring him to come in and look at listings just to match what our market number is saying, what his number is saying. And the good news is we're sinking, which is a good sign on it. But it's if you want to. Put your house on the market after the beginning of the year, reaching out to somebody like that and your trusted advisors to go ahead and help you set your tone, that's a smart move to do.
Pockets of the market that are hot, pockets of the market that are slow. Of course, we'll talk portable mortgages. We'll take your questions. How about hot pockets first? And I'm not talking about the pepperoni ones that you buy at Teeter in the grocery store. Who doesn't love a good hot pocket? The toughest part of the hot pocket is that first bite when it comes right out of the microwave.
Has anybody ever actually had one?
Hell yeah. Who doesn't like a hot pocket?
I've never had
Judy,
one.
you had a hot pocket?
Oh, I've had hot pockets.
All right, who doesn't like hot pockets?
Who's the comedian that did this whole hot pocket skit? Gaffigan.
You know that, Judy?
Yeah. Anyway.
He said it.
Hot pockets. A hot meal in a pocket. Irresistibly hot. Hot pockets.
I've never had one.
You've never had a hot pocket?
I live a sheltered life, Jerry. Okay. I've never had one.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
So the hot pockets are the hot pockets. Everybody knows what they are, right? Those are the ones that are flying off the handles and the short things, right? We've been talking about micro markets matter for decades now. Seems like decades, but micro markets matter, and price point matters. So, the markets that are moving have been moving. So none of this, all these markets we've been talking about for this year, really hasn't changed. It's just it's location, price, features, condition, the timing, and who's on the other side. On the other side matters.
Viewers and listeners, comments in the feed. Logan Wells, Claylo. Hello.
Hello, Logan.
We love you, Logan Wells, Claylo.
She's awesome.
Enjoy running into your husband, Logan Wells, Claylo. He is a conversationalist. So am I. Thank you for watching all our content, Logan. Comments, would you like to take some of them, Keith Smith?
I would. I was going to get into portable, but go ahead.
No, so this is an interesting one.
Okay.
How many of
this is what I love about the show.
Okay. Does Keith think there's a lot of potential buyers that are waiting on the sidelines? Yeah. Because like Jerry said, it doesn't seem the market is moving as quickly as one would think.
So I'll push back on the quickly. When I'm looking at 104 pendings in 7 days, that's a pretty quick tempo.
What's the total units roughly sold this year going to be compared to last year for the car footprint?
I can do that now, but you're throwing numbers.
How about this? Back of the napkin. Is total units sold attached and detached, new construction and existing construction, are those units going to be less than 2024?
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
2025 is going to be less than 2024.
I would think so.
And 2024, a lot of folks were saying this was a tough year.
Yeah, you have to
I know it's been a good year for you,
You
Keith.
have to define tough, right? It's a normal year, right? This is a normal thing. So tough to what? Tough to the unicorn years? Yeah, probably. But that's not a normal real estate market rhythm. You can't compare where we are now to that, because if you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? A normal real estate rhythm market is the one that I just posted, that Judah posted, so thank you for doing that. That is a normal rhythm, right? But right now, I'm looking at 104 pendings. 104, that means that in 1 week, 104 homes went under contract. That's a huge number. Usually those are in the 60s or in the 70s or in the 80s as we've been tracking them over the year. So to hit 100 is fine. What the thing to note is only 61 went on the market. That's to your point. Nobody's really going to put their houses on the market in the holidays. I'll tell you, you want to sell your house, put your house on the market in the holidays because the smart buyers are out there looking to buy right now. But yeah. I think the tempo of the market is exactly where the tempo of the market should be. It's not a soft market.
How do you characterize? We agree to disagree on that one.
You have to define soft, Jerry. What's soft?
I mean, I would say a market that's down versus last year is soft.
But down in what? Down
Units
in volume?
sold.
Yeah.
How you guys make money is selling units. There's less units sold this year than last year.
Yeah. So soft to who? Soft to the real estate agent?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It's a real estate show.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking soft to the buyer or to the seller.
Well, I would say that the buyer right now has as much leverage right now as I've seen since start of COVID.
Yes. Again,
So 5 years.
Again, we're back to the 2018, 19, 16 rhythm of the market.
And I was taken aback, frankly, with your comment to start the program that you expect 2026 to be synonymous with 2025.
No, the rhythm of 26 is going to be similar to 25.
Okay, so 2026 is going to be like 2025.
The rhythm.
Okay.
The rhythm of homes coming on the market, going off.
So does that mean units sold?
Not necessarily. It does not. This is just the rhythm. It does not. The rhythm does not equate to volume.
Okay, so
the rhythm is as how homes are coming on the market, right, and sell, and they hit the peak and they slow a little bit. If you take a thing in the summer, But we have not had that.
You're talking seasonality is back. That's what he's saying.
That we call it rhythm.
Yeah.
But that rhythm hasn't been around since 2008.
Will there be more units? You want a prop bet? You said you wanted to do a prop bet.
Yeah, well, I just need to buy you more boots.
Will there be more units sold in 2026 than 2025?
No.
2026, your prediction will be less units sold than 2025.
Yeah.
And 2025 is less units sold than 2024.
It depends on what happens here, right? So we're going to talk about this portable loan thing. This portable loan thing.
I don't think that's going to have an impact.
I got it. I don't disagree with you. But if it does happen, all it does is help with mobility.
Yeah.
It doesn't add new units to the inventory, right? So those that if it happens and if it gets puts together as if following the Canadian model. And I spent a lot of time this week researching it because I was asked by a bunch of folks, and I did a kind of a white paper post on it. If you really want to get into the details, take a look at it. But in essence, what happens is you get to move your 2% mortgage or your 2.5% mortgage over to the new property. With so much equity got built up, you're going to end up with a chunk of change left over. You move your loan over. By the way, you got to stay with the same lender. In a magic world, it balances. That's the rule up in Canada anyway. You got to stay with your same lender. You can't change it. And if you've got a shortfall, you're either coming up with cash.
What happens if the loan product that you secured to buy your house has been sold to a different lender?
Well, that just gets it's being serviced by somebody else.
Okay, just as long as it's with the same servicer.
The loan, well, that's why the servicers like this, and that's why the lenders like this that do this stuff, because you're going to stay with the servicer, you're going to stay with the lender. That's assuming they adopt the Canadian model. They may not. If they don't adopt the Canadian model, then somebody's going to have to come up with subsidies, because there's like no subsidies using in it. If it happens and if it gets put together, let's put it this way. This has got at least a little bit of hair on it compared to the 50-year thing, right? I can't even say the words, the 50-year mortgage rate, right? It has a little bit of hair to it. It could happen. What it's only going to do is it's going to bring people from high-priced neighborhoods, regions, down to here if it happens, right? And internally, if people are migrating internally, you know, that may benefit a few folks to move that way. It is not going to do a damn thing to change inventory.
Donna Price, welcome to the broadcast. Catherine DeSoucia, she's in the game. Welcome to the broadcast. She also has a fantastic backhand. Industry experts widely agree that portable mortgages are difficult to implement within the U.S. mortgage-backed security system.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
That relies...
This has a heavy lift to get from from, hey, what do you think about this
I don't think
idea, to get there.
The U.S. mortgage-backed security system relies on loans being tied to a specific property and predictable payoff schedules, as we all know. Widespread implementation of portable loans in the U.S. housing system could lead to overall higher mortgage rates for everyone to compensate investors for the added risk of this program.
So the Canadian system is very different than our system.
Yeah.
I know. I was actually married there. My oldest daughter was born in Canada when I was at the embassy there.
Very curious of what Rob Neal's take is on portable loans.
Yeah. If it's built the way that is, but there's a lot of ifs to get that way. But if magically, with a magic wand, all these issues that you're talking about get resolved and the basic concept works, it might help a few folks. It's not going to help a lot. The intent here is try to loosen up these golden handcuffs that folks have on with these 2% and kind of move sideways. But, I'm looking at 104 pending. So somebody is got either doing cash or doing loans or whatever, but money is moving and people are writing deals and moving through the closing process. But anyway, it's a unique thing for a geek like me to study and take a look at it. This and the 50-year mortgage probably have zero or very close zero chances of actually getting implemented. But if it did, it'll loosen up a few folks. And if it did, in our market, it's going to murder us here. Because now if this really happens, and I own a home up in Northern Virginia, New York, and I get to bring my $500,000, 2.5% mortgage down here, and I sold the home for $1 million.
The only thing this benefits is the wealthy. It would absolutely F first-time home buyers. It would eviscerate the first-time home buyer.
100%. And that's, if you read through it, I don't really go into that great detail, but at the bottom, I'm just saying this is not a good thing for our area. And it's not going to
make everything more expensive.
It's not going to increase inventory.
Yeah.
It's just going to move people around. It's just not going to increase inventory. The only way you're going to increase inventory is to increase inventory.
Well, increasing inventory is not going to happen locally. I do think that
I was at the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference yesterday and spoke on a panel. Yeah, and it was very interesting. The room was full of a lot of elected officials, and I asked the question from the dais. I said, a show of hands of elected officials in your jurisdiction, how likely it is to get a new development approved. This was 150 people. One hand went up.
And where was that?
Down in like Southwest, like Wise.
Where they're craving people to move to.
Yeah. Outside of Martinsville, I think, somewhere down there.
So if you want to spur economic development associated with real estate and the real estate ecosystem, the only lever really that you have to pull is the rate lever.
But the rate's not going to increase inventory, right? So the rate
would increase inventory.
It's not the only.
The rate would increase inventory because those folks that are tied to 2 and 3% interest rates will be more willing to sell because they could secure another 2 or 3% interest rate.
And
they're going to be buying in a more expensive market, but they're going to be doing so with massive equity in their hands.
It is not going to increase inventory. It's just going to move buyers around and sellers around. That's what that's going to do.
That increases inventory. More listing inventory.
Yes. But it's also bringing in greater pressure in from Northern Virginia, New York, and all that stuff. There'll be transactions happen.
Yeah.
There'll be transactions moving.
It's not going to help the first-time home buyer.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It is not.
But it will drive sales.
Oh, sales, yeah. 100%, yeah. None of this we're talking about. I've said this before. I'm super excited about this real estate market. I have been and will be. This is when the pros show up, right? If you know how to do business, this is a great market to be in. If you don't, it'll be a struggle.
Yeah.
That's as straight up and honest as I can.
Well, I mean, look, he said 2024 was down versus 2023. 2025 is going to be down versus 2024. Mm-hmm. His prediction is 2026 is going to be down versus 2025.
Yeah.
What you're going to see over the next 12 months or so is you're going to see someone that's nuanced like Keith Smith and Yes Realty Partners, they're going to have success because of their experience. But folks that are new to the game are going to struggle, and with that struggle comes less in the profession, which means more pie for those that make it through the headwinds.
Yes. The other thing you're going to start seeing is some of the real estate agents in the market starting to kind of move a little bit. I was part
Move
of
it to different brokerages?
No,
Because that's happening.
yeah. At any time,
That's happening a lot now.
yeah, any time the market gets a little like this, you'll see movements back and forth. Also, the industry is changing.
It's been a while since I've seen movement like this with brokerage
The
shifts.
industry is changing. There's so many what they call mergers and acquisitions happening right now, and you're going to see a lot more where they're starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what happens. And they start moving around a little bit. I just wanted to do Albemarle County real quick, 1 year versus the other.
You're talking about unit sold?
Yeah, just simple detached units, just out of curiosity.
Viewers and listeners, put your thoughts in the feed. I will relay them live on air. We'll give some love right now to Interstate Service Company, a home's best friend. If there's a remodeling that you need of some kind, Interstate Service Company.
Now's the time to get your house ready.
ISC is a home's best friend. They are locally owned, ladies and gentlemen, and operated. Real Talk with Keith Smith is where we archive the show. We encourage you to click the Partners tab of Real Talk with Keith Smith, and then on that tab, you will see the who's who of real estate that Keith Smith has personally vetted. Comments continue
Sure.
to come in. Let me know when you have the Albemarle County numbers,
I will do that.
and he's going to give us
I'm
the
listening to you at the same time.
2025 numbers versus 2024 numbers, units sold. I think right now we're going to have a pretty darn good idea. How many sold in 2024?
So what I'm doing right now is just single-family detached, new construction, and existing. And I'm just looking at Albemarle County because it's the largest group, just to take a look at that. So 2023. Hang on one second. Make sure I got this right.
Paragon is a beautiful thing. Doing it in real time on a talk show as we speak.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about something I think a little later because I think you're going to ask me a question about this MLS thing. I bet you.
What, you're talking about NAR?
Yeah.
The National Association? I frankly don't put much credence at all into the National Association of Realtors.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was a genius move.
And now it's up to the local association to determine whether you have to be a member of NAR to have MLS access.
Yep.
You know, and from that standpoint, what is the val prop outside of some data for NAR? I understand they're the largest lobbying group in the world. There might be some value proposition on the lobbying, but outside of that, I just don't see how much is the NAR membership?
Oh heck, I don't even know. I don't even pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
Are you a NAR member?
Yeah, you have to be.
Okay.
You're required.
Yeah.
The trifecta requires
Yeah,
you to.
but for how much longer?
It'll stay on for a while.
Yeah.
As soon as I do these numbers, we can get into that.
So what do you got?
Well, so if I'm just looking at single-family detached year-to-date, 2023, we had 857 sold. These are
This
just
is Albemarle County?
This is Albemarle County, just single-family detached, excuse me, including new construction. So that's from January 1 till today. 2023, there was 857. In 24, there was 781. So that was a big jump down.
857 units sold in 2023, 2024, 781.
And actually, we're up.
2025 is what?
798. Not by much, but we're up. At the
Okay,
moment.
so you're up in Albemarle County.
We're up in Albemarle County.
You're up 17 units.
We're up 17 units. And I bet you if we took a hard look at that, it's probably.
Well, Charlottesville's going to be down. So
Yeah,
Charlottesville's.
we're just looking at one jurisdiction.
So do you
real
think the
quick.
car footprint in totality will be down 2025 versus
I think when
2024?
you take a look at it, it'll be down. The big jump was 23 to 24.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to balance out a little bit, but we won't know. It takes me a lot of time to do these year-end numbers, and
Yeah.
and we don't have that right yet. Right.
Well, we appreciate the time you put into it.
Yeah, thank you.
Because they're timely.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to call that balanced 20 on Albemarle County, single-family detached. At the moment, we're looking about balanced. If I was to go ahead and pull all the jurisdictions together, it'd take me a little bit of time to go ahead and do that. But yeah, who knows? We might be balanced. again, I know this much because I was spending a lot of time from 16 to 19. That's the market. This is the rhythm that we're at on the market, and I expect that to continue along.
Do you want to pontificate on NAR and set the stage? Because I put a little commentary on that.
I know you did.
I got some pushback.
I know you did. Yeah. So, what's your takeaway on it? Then
Go ahead. You're the realtor.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
takeaway is going to be very different than yours.
Well, so the beautiful thing about putting yourself in the right room in the right place. This is about. I've known this was going to happen for about 2 years.
Okay.
Right. So all they did is carved off the MLS from NAR that you're required to be, to have together. And what that's doing in the local, and I just happen to know this, so the local associations, really since the end of the lawsuit, has been lobbying to go ahead and get more autonomy on its MLS. What's happening, this is a couple of, like a year ago, more, what I've been talking about is this is the slow dismantling of the required trifecta. So what is the requirement trifecta? In order for me to really do business, I have to belong to 3 associations, NAR, VAR, and CAR. And this is slowly starting to dismantle that. This is my prediction. What you're going to start seeing happening at CAR is a couple of quick things. You're going to see the MLS get carved off and create its own LLC, its own company. You're going to see the association become a nonprofit, and then it's going to focus on lobbying, education, all that kind of great stuff is what the association, the MLS is going to be its own body. This is in the works, that I'm reading between the tea leaves on it. The other really cool thing that's going to happen here, folks, and this is not talked about a lot, there's some back-end stuff going on at the MLS level, and this is geeking out to the people in the industry. What's going to happen on the MLS, there's some back-end software work going on that is going to actually be able to allow you, through a single sign-on, work in multiple MLSs. So all in the background, they have all these MLSs that are starting to do these data share agreements. So what you're going to start seeing, and I think you're going to see this in a 12 to 24 month spread, that I can log on to Paragon and do business in DC and do business in Richmond. Take listings, do listings, write contracts, function that way. The next step is the trifecta, because at the moment, I've really got to belong to the trifecta because I need the contracts from Virginia real estate realtors. They are the state real estate associations, for the most part, control the documents. Some brokerages.
Why can't you just make your own contract?
Here's the problem with that. You're going to start seeing that. All these.
Just like we do in commercial. It's not that hard.
It is and it isn't. Nobody wants to take on the liability. That's the problem. That's the struggle.
Use your attorney.
Use your attorney. Your E&O insurances goes through the roof. I get all of that, but nobody's going to want to do that. What you're going to start seeing, though, is some larger firms doing that, taking on that role. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is they're going to split the trifecta up. If they split up the trifecta, I will still belong to all 3 associations.
Why?
Because I like NAR's lobbying work and I like its statistical data. It's really, really good at that, right? What it wasn't good at is controlling the MLS and everybody downstream. I love Virginia Realtors because I love what they lobby at the state and I love what they do for the contracts and the legal aid and all that stuff on it. And I like CAR because if it's focusing on the local community and the local incentives and the local help me out here, education, I love that. So I would still belong to all 3. What I don't like is being forced to belong to all 3. And oh, by the way, since this thing, I don't know if you've been tracking this, but there's a bunch of lawsuits that popped up since NAR announced this. So this is going to be working its way through. I've been preaching this for a while. I preached it when I was on the board that there's going to be regional MLSs. That's the track we're going on. exactly how it's going to shape out, but it's going to be that way in the next 12 to 24 months. And, this is going to be a big thing for cars. If they do what I think they're going to do and all of a sudden become a nonprofit, I know a little bit about nonprofits. I chair a couple of them.
That's brutal.
It is a difficult.
That is brutal.
It is difficult.
That's then going to position CAR and a nonprofit to essentially be a fundraising.
But it has to be a
fundraising machine.
No, because the dues will do that. That's the difference between. Here's the reason why it should have been done a long time ago. It kind of operates like a nonprofit. It functions like a nonprofit.
What's going to happen to the Hillsdale Conference Center?
I think they're going to carve that off and make it a separate LLC.
The Hillsdale Conference Center?
I think the smart move is to make them three separate.
You think CAR is going to become? You think CAR is going to be? You think CAR MLS is going to become its own entity?
I think so. Yeah.
And that entity is going to be funded by dues.
Yep. It's going to have its own board.
That's going to be its only revenue stream.
Yeah.
And that revenue stream is going to be obviously sustainable because agents need MLS access to buy and sell stuff unless they choose to go, what I'm seeing with some agents, with strictly listing on sites like Zillow. And if they strictly list on sites like Zillow,
then you've got these firms that are doing the private listings and all
yeah,
that stuff.
dude, I'm seeing agents that are extremely established right now. I won't say their names, not even listing their flips on the MLS, just putting them on Zillow and then taking the Zillow link and posting it on social media and selling it that way. I'm seeing my investor friends doing that.
So the loss of the lawsuit was way more impactful than I think everybody thought at the time. I think we thought differently, but it wasn't about commissions. It was about dismantling what NAR has set up.
Okay.
And so the market is adjusting itself and moving itself up. But to stay on CAR, it is a genius move if they do this.
By whom?
Well, at the board, and whoever's at the board makes all these decisions. I'm telling you, if I was sitting in the board, that's the right plan. You carve off one, you create three.
You carve off the MLS, you make it funded by membership dues. Okay,
Yep.
I get that. I don't see much financial upside with membership dues. What is the financial upside with membership dues?
It'll be enough to cover the expenses.
How much are the membership dues?
Back
of the napkin.
I don't know. We play quarterly. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars a quarter for it. It'll pay for itself.
Okay, so you got 800 people paying that?
Yeah, you're thinking like it needs to make money. As long as it pays for itself and it makes enough revenue to move on.
Well, eventually you have a developer and a coder that's keeping the MLS online.
Oh, no. So that's what all these paragons.
Okay, so that's just going to be licensing of software.
Well, you'll have an in-house person to go and an employee and all that kind of stuff because you always got to have somebody in-house to go and do it. And that's the benefit of it. That's the benefit of CAR doing this because I could pick up the phone and if I got a problem, I got somebody to talk to. But you're thinking too big.
Okay, so right? An LLC for the MLS.
It'll get carved off. It'll have to sustain.
And then you're going to take what we know of CAR is today and turn it into a nonprofit, and that nonprofit will be funded through fundraising.
No. It'll be funded through dues. It'll
the same dues that are going to be allocated to the MLS?
No.
Or a different due structure?
No, Jerry. You pay two separate dues now. I pay a whole separate set of dues for the MLS.
Okay.
Always have.
And then the CAR dues
pay
are
a
what?
whole. Don't ask me numbers.
Okay. And this will cover Dave Norris's salary.
No, Dave Norris is something else. Dave Norris is.
He's not part of the CAR. Is the CAR Foundation?
And it's just a separate entity.
Wait, is that going to be the CAR nonprofit, or where's that going to be?
It's already a nonprofit. Okay. It already functions on its own.
So that'll be a second nonprofit.
It's an entity unto itself.
Okay.
Right. So I already pay CAR dues.
Okay.
I already pay MLS dues. So none of that is going to change. It's just going to be split up where one is an LLC and one is a nonprofit. And they're going to function separately. They should have been separated. They couldn't be separated because until NAR did its thing. All this that's going out right now, this has been in the works for a while.
And then Hillsdale.
This isn't something that was announced that just at a board meeting everybody said, yeah, let's do this. This has been worked on for quite some time. And NAR had to do it because it hired an outside firm to take a look at its liability risk and said, you need to split this off. That's how this all gets started. So this has been in the works for quite some time.
And then you turn Hillsdale into its own LLC as well?
Yeah, it runs on itself. It's either going to survive or it's not going to survive, right? There's direct connections between all of them, of course, because You know, I'm looking at your wall over here. You've got multiple LLCs, and you know how they all get tied together. But look for that to happen this year. It's going to happen. And then the real thing, the thing that agents need to get excited about is this back-end software that they're going to do. This is going to be awesome. This is going to allow me on my Paragon to do a listing in Richmond or wherever the MLS has its data share agreements. It'll allow me to do business in Northern Virginia, right? Vice versa. Here's the flip side to that. They're going to be in our neighborhood too, right? So, but this is ultimately becoming what I predicted it would become, is this large regional MLS. They're not one MLS. They're multiple MLSs tied together in it. But look for this to happen. If you're in the real estate space, this is going to happen. And this is going to be the hand grenade I'll throw before I go away out of the country for a while. But that's what's going to happen in the next 12 to 24 months. CAR is going to become a nonprofit. MLS is going to become its own LLC. I would think Hillsdale will. That's what I would do. I think it's making money, to be honest with you. I don't know, but I think it's
There's no way that is making money.
I actually think it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on the board. I don't have inside information. I'm just looking from the outside in. It seems to be booked all the time. So
well, yeah, it's not making money tied to real estate. It's making money that's going to be associated with like hosting like bar mitzvahs and rehearsal dinners and wedding. It's basically become an event center.
Yeah,
that's what it's become.
So if that works and it's functioning, that's a good thing.
If I was CAR, I'd figure out a way to sell that, exit the event game, because you're not in the business of doing bar mitzvahs and sweet 16s.
So Jerry, you move at the lightning speed, speed of light.
18 years of doing this.
Yeah, right. These things move slowly. These are these aircraft carriers that are moving. I'm actually really excited that based on meetings I've had and people I know and stuff around in different parts of the state and the country, this is where it's moving, and I'm actually pretty excited about it because it'll break these things into silos where I think they should have been for quite some time.
Carly Wagner watching the program.
Hey, Carly.
She shoots it straight. Engineer and a realtor. You pay annual NAR, National Association Realtor, annual Virginia Association Realtor, and annual CAR, Charlottesville Area Association Realtor dues.
Yes.
That's roughly $900 a year.
Yeah.
You also pay MLS and lockbox fees quarterly, about
Correct.
$150 a quarter. Right now, you only have access to the MLS if you have paid your association dues. Interested to see how this will all shake out. So the realtor is paying.
Step one.
The realtor is paying, for the viewers and listeners that are watching the program, $900 for NAR, VAR, and CAR dues, plus $600 for your MLS and lockbox fees. You guys are at $1,500 a clip.
Actually, I think it's more than that on the MLS side.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe because I'm paying for multiple MLSs.
I think that might be what it is. Yeah.
Well, so back to where the game change is on this back-end software that I think if they get this thing fired up, it's going to work. You only have to belong to one MLS to access all these other MLSs, because we belong to a bunch of them, so I couldn't break down the exact dollar off the top of my head.
A Charlottesville realtor listing homes in Northern Virginia.
Well, it's very interesting.
Asinine.
Well, it's very interesting. So the step one is what they took. This is what's been going on, I think, for a while. This is just me reading the tea leaves. You know, you and I have got really good vision, right? Reading the tea leaves, reading the rooms, so forth and so on. This first step that NARC took was huge, right? Because what it did is it really gave the local associations, and some people say they always had it. I'm not so sure they did. But it officially gives them, it adds clarity to the fact that you can do exactly what I think CAR is going to do. And they're going to carve off their MLS. And it should be carved off. It should be a standalone entity. It should function on its own. It should operate on its own. Here's your question. As a licensed agent in the state of Virginia, I can do business anywhere in the state of Virginia. Actually, I'm a broker. Licensed broker. My wife keeps on reminding me that I'm supposed to say broker. Anywhere in the state of Virginia. Now, on the NAR side, now I just separated. So part of NAR was always these ethics rules. If you kind of dig into the ethics, it kind of talks about that you're only supposed to do business.
Where you're an expert in, where you're nuanced in. And the folks that are doing business
all
outside
of
of their
this-
area are not nuanced in other regions.
So all of this stuff we're talking about is a slow dismantling of the way things were. And it's going to be, and I think you're going to actually see the tempo pick up in 2026. I might be wrong, but I think you're going to see the tempo pick up in 2026 of this dismantling. The next big step is going to be and it'll probably, we'll bet for the bar. I think this official dissolution of the required trifecta is going to happen this time next year. They're probably going to wait for the dues situation in October and November. Then they're going to have their meeting. NAR's going to have their meeting and then break it apart where then the agent can decide which one of all of them or three of them. In my case, I would do all three, right? I would heavily lean on Virginia.
Because of the contracts.
Because of the contracts, right? But you right now can't do that. It is, trust me, Jerry, I've looked at it. The legal back end of doing that and the liability on doing that, it's just not a couple commercial deals going on. When you're doing, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions, the liability on the back end is just a bit squirrely. But this all may change. I think you're going to start seeing the big chains or brokerages owned by the street, right, starting to go deeper into creating their own firms, their own forms.
Comments continue to come in. This one comes in for someone who's asking for some anonymity on the portable mortgages. Portable mortgages, he says, will enrich those currently with assets, raise mortgage pricing for the first-time buyers, because it will offset risk for lenders, kill mortgage brokers due to refinances being basically eliminated, increase people owning two houses and renting instead of selling the house they moved out of, increase government size and involvement way more than prior, but I thought the Red Hats want small government, or maybe I just don't understand the American financial and real estate markets. Nap time replaces science in 5th grade. Vote for me for student body president. I can totally see you saying that.
More cookies.
I can totally see him saying that.
About 20 to 30%, based on the data I can pull in Canada, was done with this. And it was done a couple of years ago. Really not that much has been done lately. None of that, what this person has talked about is that far off. I wanted to do an assessment, get it out. If it happens, it happens. I can tell you there's no subsidy in the Canadian model, in it. My suspicion is the U.S. model wouldn't have it. But we're we're having all these great discussions for the sake of
We're doing exactly what Trump wants us to do.
We're talking about
Trump. I know. We're talking about it. Exactly what he wants us to do.
We are talking 100%.
He's the puppeteer.
We are talking about it.
Was it 2 weeks ago was the 50-year mortgage. Last week was the portable mortgage. He's literally driving the news cycle to distract the news cycle from other things that include him in it that aren't making him look so good. He is a media genius.
I'm about to say it.
Media genius.
Like him or dislike him.
Portable mortgage, 50-year mortgage.
Yeah, sure.
We're not talking about this right now.
Look at my left hand,
yeah.
Not my right hand. Yeah, so, I think what's more important to talk about is what I think is going to happen in our industry and in our market going forward. All that noise is going to be noise. I've been asked by half a dozen people for an assessment. I did it. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But if it does, it's not going to help a huge number of people.
Carly agrees that the value of Virginia Association of Realtors is very, very high.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of cost and what is provided.
100%.
She says she's also listed homes in Northern Virginia for people she knows up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's partnered with a local agent, which was recommended by you.
So that's the way to...
What's the value, Carly? Carly, you shoot it straight, Carly. That's why we like you here, Carly.
Say it again?
I'm going to ask Carly a question. Uh-huh. You shoot it straight, Carly. What is the value, in your opinion, Carly, of CAR? Put your comments in the feed, Carly. We'll relay them live on air. What do you think she's going to say?
Yeah. At its CAR is going through a change, right? And it's going from that awkward 18-year-old to somebody getting out of college and life is starting. So they're going through a change. I want to support them through their change. Going through that, I think they have, and I've been very critical of everybody except for Virginia Realtors. I've never been critical of them. I've been critical on both sides, NAR and CAR. That said, if they really do what I think they're doing, then I want to support CAR, because they're going into their wheelhouse that they should be in, which is their advocacy, their education, right, towards the agents and helping helping the realtors or brokers do business. That's their wheelhouse. They carve off the MLS. That's got its own board. It's got its own staff. It's a great idea. It's its own silo. It should function on its own. The same thing, I think, hopefully will happen with the Hillsdale Center, because that will only drag down, I think, the CAR side of the equation. They need to separate the three entities. If they
the Hillsdale Center needs to be sold
they do whatever
to
they want
somebody
to do.
who does weddings, events. It's a perfect situation for an event venue.
I got it. So it's making widgets. It doesn't matter what it's doing. Hillsdale's making.
It doesn't fit the vertically integrated model of real estate.
So there you go. We're on the same page.
It's when I'm building a company together and I'm doing a family tree of branches that
They
complement
have
each
to be-
other.
they have
This is the dying branch on the oak tree.
Well, it's not done. I don't know if it's
It's
dying.
the
or-
branch that's about to fall
Yeah.
on someone's house and destroy it.
How we got there and how we're here is a whole different story. But at the moment, ultimately, the way it came around, so that you know the history of it, was this CAR was spending obscene amount of money for its meetings at event spaces. So it was looking to save its money from there. And it did a really great job. It created, if you've ever been in their boardroom and if you've ever been in their meeting spaces there, it is an excellent facility, right? If you want to meet clients, it's just an off the charts excellent facility. That said, it needs to be carved off. It needs to survive on its own, right? It needs to pay rent to the association, right? Because it owns the space. I would hope that's the way they're going to do it, and it functions on that way. I'm sure Carly chimed in by now.
She says, I don't think wants to answer that question.
got it.
That
Got
says
it.
enough for me already. Probably the best value is the
Got it.
networking
So
possibility.
try the question a different way.
I mean,
try the,
I think if Carly was
No,
here
no,
and
no.
we asked her that person, it would be different.
Yeah, well, no, let me try the question a different way. If given the opportunity to join, either join all three or join one or join two, would you join all three? That's a way, it may be a round of asking it.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll answer it.
No, I don't think she's going to answer that way
Yeah,
either.
yeah. But anyway,
And
yeah.
the no answer is the answer.
Yeah. And I tend to get my,
It doesn't matter.
we weigh us. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've
We
learned
are
that a long time ago.
Our visions are so far ahead of where we sit right
Yeah.
now. It doesn't really matter.
It does
But
not
I got to tell you, I got to say this. I want to say this out loud and publicly. If this goes the way it's going, that's pure genius on their part. That is actually real strategic thinking and real corporate thinking to break that down. If it turns out that one doesn't survive on its own, that's great. It survives on its own. Carving off, and this has been in the pipeline, again, I repeat myself for a long time. Carving off the MLS is good. It's a self-standing thing. At the moment, NAR is not going to separate this trifecta. That's the next big elephant that needs to come into the room. If it dissolves it, then it's really got to stand on its own. Because if it doesn't, and I need to access the VAR forms, I got to join all three. Doesn't matter if it's part of the MLS or not. Doesn't matter if the MLS is part of it or not. I need those forms, and it's much more complicated, Jerry, to create your own forms. It's the reason why all these big companies haven't done it yet. It's a huge liability.
There's companies that have their own forms.
Not the complete suite. That is not correct. They have certain amounts.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. I did the research. Certain firms have a couple, right? Their own listing or broker or something like that, but they don't have a complete suite of forms that one needs to do business in the retail residential side. Commercial is a very different animal.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at it from that side.
Yeah, commercial is a completely different animal.
Yeah.
You're down to one form, and that's pretty much it, right? But and the reason why it's that way is there's so much. And if I'm geeking out too much,
You're
shut
not
me
geeking
down.
out.
There's so much legislation that's tied to these contracts that change regularly that somebody's got to take on that liability to make sure they match. And that's what VR really does well. It does great lobbying, but what it really does well is to create these state forms. And that's kind of the model around the country. Most forms are generated by their state. Now, some associations do their own forms. Northern Virginia has their own forms. Richmond has their own forms. Not a complete suite, but they do have their own forms. So that is also a trend you're going to start seeing. These MLSs start doing more of that and carving off to create their own entities. That'll be real hard for CAR's MLS to do. We just don't have the volume to take on that legal liability. But that may be where they're going.
She says the National Association of Realtors, in her opinion, is the absolute lowest of the low on the totem pole. And she says
I would agree with that.
She probably would stay with VAR and CAR if given a la carte freedom.
Yeah.
And she thinks that perhaps law firms will start doing more, competing with VAR, creating their own contracts. Then what does that mean for transactions if each contract is unique?
I can tell you
I literally just did a deal last month, and granted, this was commercial.
It's commercial.
The attorneys just put the paperwork together.
It's a different animal.
Yeah,
It is.
We did a letter of intent, submitted to the attorney, and set up. I get it. I get it.
You can't mix the two,
it was
right?
easy peasy.
They're on a scale.
Sunday breezy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, there's sub 1 is the number of people that actually do commercial
Yeah,
transactions.
I know that.
In that
I get
area,
that.
right? It's a minuscule number, so you can't do that. The majority of the 1,400 or 1,200 or whatever the number is.
We don't have an issue with commissions. There's no issue with. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you just have a conversation.
Yeah, and it ends up in a deal, and you
Yeah,
sign it.
yeah.
You're done. It's the reason why most commercial real estate agents are not also realtors.
No, well, and they almost cringe when you call them that.
Yeah.
They actually cringe when you call them that.
I do enough commercial.
Yeah.
I get it. But that's not a fair analogy towards the residential side. It's a very different animal. The laws and the legislation is completely different and more in depth, and it's changing by the day. Believe me, I've spoken to 3 attorneys about, hey, how do we do this? And every one of them is like, the liability on this is off the charts. So that's the struggle, right? But when you have like a large MLS that has lots of, like Northern Virginia or Richmond, they have the dollars, they have the in-house legal staff to go ahead and do this. I don't think CAR is going to get to that point. They may partner up with other MLSs, though.
You just masterclass from you, Keith Smith.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fantastic way.
Oh, look at that.
Fantastic way to finish the show before
The year.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What's your Thanksgiving plans?
I think I'm frying a turkey.
Congratulations.
I am.
You like doing that.
I do. This is new. We're in a new place, Yona and I, in our world. We used to always host everything: Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. Excuse me. We are going to my sister Megan's. All I got to do is show up and drop a turkey in the fryer, eat turkey, have a cocktail, talk to everybody. Don't have to work. This is a great place to be. Great place, and then we're heading out of town for a little bit.
Congratulations. Fantastic show today.
Yeah,
You're
had a
on
good time.
point.
I didn't really have anything to talk about.
And look at that. It
today.
took care of itself.
And
You did a great
I
job.
desperately tried to. You remember when I made you wear the turkey hat?
Turkey hat.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. That was a few years ago.
Yeah. And we purged our house.
Okay.
And I must have thrown them away. I was going to bring them in to make us wear it today. But
Well, all shucks.
oh, shucks. Oh, shucks. Any opportunity to mess up your hair is a good thing.
Keith Smith is the man. Keith Smith is the absolute man, guys. He's a guy that you can trust for anything with real estate. I've seen it firsthand. Transactions our family have done with Keith and Yona Smith. Literally.
Thank you.
Multiple transactions.
It's an honor. It's
Yeah,
very-
genuinely multiple transactions.
We take every person we help.
I sincerely, viewers and listeners, multiple ones we've done with him. And I'll tell you what, I am no easy person to please. I have extremely high expectations, extremely high. And they ask Judah.
No, don't do that.
Do I not have high? Would you say that's safe to say?
That
again?
Unreasonable expectations?
Oh, always.
Always. And Keith and Yona met them and surpassed them.
Well,
Unreasonable expectations in everything in life, and you surpassed them in the deals we did.
Unreasonable expectation? I don't think you had unreasonable expectations.
I have expectations that are
You have high expectations.
extremely difficult to meet in every aspect of life.
So I
Ask my
won't-
wife.
I won't tell you it was that difficult.
Yeah.
You know why it wasn't difficult?
You surpassed them.
Do you know why it wasn't difficult?
Why is that?
Because you trusted me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I trust you.
Yeah, you trusted
100%.
me. You trusted me.
I trust you.
And I would
trust
not.
very few people.
I would not. I will honestly tell you if it's you're going to hit a brick wall, I will tell you you're going to
Yeah.
hit a brick wall.
I trust very few people. He's one of them. That's why I literally vouch. If you're in this game, we call it real estate. I sincerely mean that.
I don't take compliments well, but thank you.
Real Talk with Keith Smith, online at realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. Judah Wickhauer behind the camera. I Love CVille show up at 12:30. We're picking some bathroom tile together after the show right here.
Who
Yeah.
me?
I mean, you could have her put your 2
I'm actually
cents in.
I'm actually pretty good at that.
It's literally right there.
I'm really good at that.
Thank you, Keith.
We are working. So just everybody know we're out of the country, but we are remotely working. So don't everybody think that we're not working. So our teams are working for us, and we're very blessed to have some awesome folks covering our butts and work and do some business planning and get ready for 2026. 2026 is going to be a good real estate year. It is going to be a good year. If you show up to the fight, it's going to be a good year.
There you go. Well said, Keith. Great show.
All right.
Thank you kindly for joining us. So
Have a
long,
good
everybody.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Nicely done, Keith Smith.
11:20.
You were on a roll. I didn't want to stop you.